II veteran, okay? His friends and family died. So you can sit here right now and make money.
This is our first Karen. Oh my God.
No.
A woman's tantrum inside of a Pennsylvania pizzeria ended up being seen by thousands and thousands of people online. And her racist tirade, well, that backfired. She ended up in front of a judge, and the pizza shop became the target of a very different kind of hometown hospitality. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law&Crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. That's right, Morgan & Morgan is investigating claims that patients weren't properly warned about this risk. It's free to check, just takes a few minutes, and you don't pay unless they win. So scan the QR code on screen, click the link below, or go to forthepeople.com/LCDepo to see if you qualify.
I've been in town for 55 years. Guess what? You're out of business. Yeah, you are. I've been in town for 55 years. And my grandmother. And my grandmother before that. So you can actually say 200 years. You want to have Spanish on your TV?
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Because you're not American, dude. I will look you the up and get you the out of our town. Okay? You. Give me my money back. I'm not giving my money to some illegal immigrant.
Well, what started out as a simple pizza pickup, what maybe should have been a simple pizza pickup, quickly escalated into this full-blown meltdown out in Pennsylvania. A video of Rita Ballou went viral in 2023, and we wanted to know what happened after this TikTok confrontation ended. Well, to talk about this wild video and the consequences that Ballou ended up facing, I want to bring in Pennsylvania attorney Enrique Latoyson. Enrique, thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. Appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, we've only played a portion of this video so far, but what's your reaction? Did you see it when it initially went viral in February of 2023?
I mean, everyone heard about this video. I mean, because it did go viral. And here in the Philadelphia area, it basically went to all the news outlets, including print and media. So, yes, I did hear about it, and it was pretty disturbing at the time I heard it. Definitely getting the unedited clip that you guys have provided has given me even even a worse view of the video than when I first saw the video.
Yeah, and we're going to edit it for our audience, obviously. We're going to bleep it out, I should say, because it's really quite vile what's being said, but let's get into it. So, according to the owner of Amy's Family Pizzeria in Hatboro, Pennsylvania, which is still open for business, by the way, according to Google, then 55-year-old Rita Ballou ordered food, but became irate when she realized that the soccer game on TV inside the restaurant was being broadcast in Spanish. This TikToker, using the screen name Kelly Flores 765, started recording this rant that followed. Take a look.
You're in America. You're supposed to learn English. You got Spanish. Well, then you got Spanish on your TV. That's to Americans, dude. My father was a World War II veteran, okay? His friends and family died. So you can sit here right now and make money. And you're going to do this. Give me my money back right now. I want my money back, okay? You don't understand. You're too young to have any kind of respect. No, you don't. You don't understand. You're an ignoramus is what you are. You're an ignoramus. Ignoramus. You're young and you're still... Give me a crowd. I want your food. I want a credit for my money right now. And believe me, I will check it, okay?
Enrique, it is so disturbing and upsetting on so many levels, and just such an overreaction to what? The TV's in Spanish? I mean, I can't understand the motivation here, but unfortunately, I have to tell you, I feel like it's every week, every month, I'm seeing more and more incidents like this happening in public locations that go viral, no?
Yes, and the most interesting thing to start off was the number one sport in the world is soccer, which they call football, and of course in America the number one sport is football, NFL. People watch on Sundays, and college football. But you kind of expect, for the most part, when the number one sport in the entire world is soccer, which they call football, is I don't know how many times I've seen soccer being played in a different type of language. I mean, this is a universal sport that's played across the world. So the idea that you come in and you see a universal sport, number one sport in the world, being displayed or being televised in Spanish, and you have a problem with that is just mind blowing. And unfortunately, in these days, we're living with a type of certain individuals that feel empowered, they feel emboldened to walk around as some sort of the police or ICE or whatever they think they are, and to be able to walk around with this entitlement power that they believe they have to threaten people. And you look at this case. This guy is running a restaurant. All reports have talked about what a good business they run, and they're a friend to the neighbors and the police department, and everyone supports this business. And she comes in and just completely annihilates this guy because he's watching a universal sport in a Spanish language.
But aren't you seeing, am I wrong, or it feels like everybody's on edge? Everybody's getting angry. Everybody's having into blow-ups, and a lot of it's being caught on these viral videos. This is not 20 years ago. This is not 30. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody can document something. So whether it's public humiliation, ridicule, consequences you face in your career, there's also legal consequences. And it just, to me, it seems, are you covering a lot of cases? Are you handling a lot of cases where just people blow up at the slightest thing?
We just had a case recently in Delaware County, just recently, where it looked like it was going to be some sort of road rage situation between the owner of a body shop and the person driving the car was an African-American woman, and this went viral. And it's very, very similar to this situation, like very, very similar. But in this situation, the Caucasian male was the actual owner of the body shop, and the African-American female was just somebody that was, I guess, was in his way or something, and he went crazy. And I think that, what you're dealing with is individuals that believe that they carry some sort of authority and some sort of power. And you can believe that when she's saying it at the time, when she's saying things like, I'm going to get you locked up and I'm going to do all these things, in her head, I don't know what she's been watching or what she's been reading, but she believes the police are going to show up and lock this guy up and throw him out of town because he's watching soccer with Spanish speaking. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Now, I mentioned the video, right? So at one point during this video, Rita Ballou realizes that someone, apparently one of the employees, is recording on her phone.
And she's videotaping me.
Yeah, because you're racist. You're racist.
No,
yes,
no,
you are.
You're a victim.
You're racist.
You're a victim.
I'm not a victim.
You're a
no,
victim.
I'm not.
No, I'm an American.
No, you're a racist.
victim.
You're a
victim.
racist.
You're a victim.
You're a
You're
racist.
the racist.
No,
You're
I'm not
the
racist. I'm not over here trying to get my money
No,
back
come
because
on. Oh, I can do
you're
this
shopping at a
too.
pizza shop.
I'm just asking
No
for
one
a
cares.
credit back. You're the racist. I can do this with my phone too. I can do the same thing.
Show everybody that you're racist.
You're the racist. I'm going to film you right now. And I got 4,000 followers.
This is our first Karen. Oh my God.
4,000 followers. Now, once Ballou starts recording her own video, her story changes. Yeah, instead of being upset over immigration and what's playing on the television in the local pizza shop, she switches to saying that the restaurant refuses to give her a refund.
I would like a refund because I'm at Amy's and I am being bullied by these people.
Bullied?
Yeah, I'm being bullied by these people at Amy's.
I have everything on
And
video.
because I am white, they are videotaping me.
I'm white too.
They are videotaping me because I am white. See them? They're calling me a racist because I am white.
No. We're calling you a racist because you're racist.
I am not Mrs. Blue Hair. I am not racist. I am not racist.
You know your colors?
I am at Amy's in Hillsborough, and I am being videotaped videotape because I am white and they want to call me racist. I am simply asking for a refund because their food is terrible.
You said that you want a refund because you played Spanish on a TV.
I want a refund on my credit card. I want a refund on my credit card, so therefore I am racist. I'm at Amy's in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. I want a refund on my credit card, and they are calling me racist because I am white, and none of them are white. And she started videotaping me. I asked you, why aren't you giving me a refund on my credit card? Why won't you do it? I asked you 15 minutes ago to give me a credit on my credit card. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you giving me a credit on my credit card? Why? I don't want your food. I don't want your food. Why won't you give me your credit on my credit card? You're calling me racist because I am white. Why? I'm waiting. I got my card right here.
All right, please enter now.
Right here. Right here.
What's going on, man?
Hi.
Hi.
I know you.
Okay.
Now the video abruptly cuts off, likely when police arrive to that response disturbance call to 911. Enrique, here's the thing. Isn't it so interesting that she switches her complaint, right? She immediately goes to the idea, the food's terrible. The food's terrible as soon as she knows she's being filmed, right? Isn't it not necessarily the same thing, but isn't that consciousness of guilt what we call in the law?
I would think that what she started to do at that point was more scary than what she did the first time, okay? Because now what she's doing is she's basically creating a false report. She's creating a false narrative, a false story, and she's basically trying to take this guy out of business at this point by basically saying, I'm just an innocent person that wanted a refund, and these people are stealing my money, and they're calling me a racist, and I'm a good person. This is what you call another sense of entitlement when folks do these kind of things. They actually believe that they then can control the story. When the police show up, they're the ones out front telling the police, oh, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what really would happen here. Don't listen to this person. Listen to me. So what she's doing here is she does what she does the first time. She tries to have him locked up and put out of business. Then when she realized she's being recorded, she says, my entitlement allows me to now change the version of the story of what happened, and now I'm the victim. It is completely scary. If no one had the first video, this guy might have been put out of business and being blamed for not refunding someone's money for bad food and then calling that person a racist. And unfortunately, in today's times, she might have been believed.
Now, she wasn't arrested or anything like that at the restaurant, but the Hatboro police, they saw the video that the employee recorded, and because of the racially fueled and profane remarks, she was charged via summons with ethnic intimidation and harassment. Enrique, what is that?
That is basically, so let me say this to be very clear. In America, you're allowed to argue with people. In America, you're allowed to call people names. And this, you have a First Amendment right to do so. And the statute in Pennsylvania does not attempt to say that people can't argue or people can't call each other names. You're allowed to do all those things. What you're not allowed to do is do that because of someone's race or religion or background or some other thing. Now, that's different. That's when it's crossing the line. If I want to call someone a clown, you can call them a clown. If you want to call them a clown because of their color or their race or their religion, well, now Pennsylvania draws the line and says that's intimidation, and that's not allowed, and that's a misdemeanor in Pennsylvania. So the fact that she was, arguing with someone, that's not what the behavior is. You're allowed to argue with people. You're allowed to express you don't like something. Or she could have looked up and been like, I don't like this. I don't like this because it's in Spanish. Yeah, she would have sounded like a bigot, but she could have got away with that. When she started saying, I'm going to get you locked up, I'm going to make sure you get put out of business, and started doing all these things, and everything she was doing, she was tying it to his being Hispanic. You're an immigrant. I'm going to get you deported. All of this is tied to his background, his ethnic. At that point, you crossed the line, and now you're committing a crime. She would have just stuck with, I hate soccer, or I hate your food sucks, or anything of that. She would have been fine. but you can't just do something because of someone's background. And clearly, when she saw they were speaking in Spanish, that's when it all started. You know, once she went to the second part, when she then claimed a different story, she didn't mention any of that because that is her consciousness of guilt. And that is her knowing, oh, well, I don't want to talk about the fact I attacked him because he was Hispanic.
Well, according to NBC Philadelphia, that initial charge was dropped and it was replaced with harassment. Harassment, a course of conduct with no legitimate purpose. That's an interesting charge. Why did they drop the ethnic intimidation? Why did they settle on this harassment charge? And what does that mean? I mean, I think you pretty much explained it, but why do you think they dropped the initial, the ethnic intimidation and moved to this one?
So the harassment summary charge in Pennsylvania has a maximum penalty of 3 months in jail. Yet I've never seen anyone in 20 plus years of practice ever go to prison for harassment. Harassment is you harassing someone in the state of Pennsylvania for no purpose whatsoever. And it does involve cussing and things of that nature. Harassment also tiptoes along the line of First Amendment right to be able to say what you want and to argue with people. It typically becomes when you are doing it in a way where it's kind of one-sided. That's kind of when the summary harassment is charged. Now, in every state, in every jurisdiction, things are pled. Things are pled down. And they're also done with the permission of the victim. And in this particular case, the victim in this case was happy with the outpouring that he received from all the other businesses and all the people and the police department and everyone else. And he was fine with getting an apology, which was part of what she had to do. She had to apologize. She also apologized publicly. And I think at that point, this business owner was taking the higher road and was okay with a lesser charge and was okay with putting this all to bed.
Now, Ballou herself did respond to the outrage. She spoke with the Philadelphia Inquirer, telling the reporter, quote, "I'm profoundly sorry. I don't want to make excuses. Whatever happened in there was a combination of everything. It was a pressure cooker." Now, in December of 2023, this was months after what could be her worst moment went viral, she entered a guilty plea to that harassment charge, and court paperwork listed the requirements of her sentence, which includes 90 days of probation, 8 hours of community service. She was required to stay away from Amy's Family Pizzeria. And then in all caps at the bottom, written apology to victim and staff of restaurant. That seems like the best resolution, Enrique, no?
I mean, it does. Because at the end of the day, this pizza shop is still going to be operating in that community. And this pizza shop is, unfortunately or fortunately, however way you want to look at it, it happens a lot in these types of cases, is that the victim ends up taking the higher road and just basically saying, they didn't want to be abused. They didn't want to be treated in that way. And they show grace. And I've seen this happen and I've seen this happen in the past, and we're probably going to see it happen again. Because at the end of the day, the person that's being victimized in these types of situations wants to be okay. They want to be left alone, and they normally want to forgive. And if the person on the other side is showing an apology and is saying they're sorry, they normally don't want to bury that hatchet and move on, because at the end of the day, we all have to live together. We all got to be in the same world together. And,
Right.
One less fight that's going on is better for all of us. And she has apologized. And no matter what, whenever someone Googles her name, they're going to find this. I mean, it's never going to go away.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, this isn't quite the end of the story, because after this, both good and bad things happened as a result of this rant going viral. So first, the bad. According to Hatboro Police, internet sleuths were determined to find out who the woman was, and instead, they ended up doxing at least 3 totally innocent women. In a release, police said it has also come to the attention of the police department that the video of the incident is circulating on social media, and some people have falsely identified the woman depicted in the video. We strongly suggest people cease and desist the attachment of false or mistaken names and identities to this video, as the identity of the individuals involved are known to police. Enrique, doxing someone, releasing their personal information online for everybody to see, bad enough. Doxing the wrong person, even worse.
Definitely even worse. And, this is the kind of blowback that takes place from what she did. She goes in here and attacks this guy, and then you have people that have nothing to do with anything being attached to this. We're starting to live in this world now. I'm seeing stuff online, and every time I see something crazy, I go to the comments, and some people just say AI. So, we're starting to live in a time now where you don't know what to believe. And, unfortunately, you have these innocent folks that have nothing to do with anything being pulled into this. And, and people that are doxing them, they don't got nothing to worry about. They're not going to, they're just somebody on the internet that says this is the person who did it. And it's happened a lot. And people want to jump to conclusions real quick. They want to find the person, and they want to feel like they're the person that found the prize by finding the person, even if it's the wrong person. And unfortunately, that does happen and will continue to happen.
Now, there's something good that came out of this too. And that was that Amy's Family Pizzeria was overwhelmed with support. And that's according to reporting from The Patch. Their social media pages were filled with praise, and lots of people in Hatboro and beyond put their money where their mouth was, eating some of the pizza. Pennsylvania State Representatives Melissa Serrato and Nancy Genst have been planning a meeting and decided to have it at Amy's. The business posted on Facebook after the incident saying that many people wanted to show their support but lived out of state, so they had requested some sort of donation link. So the owner set up a GoFundMe page and raised more than $1,600 for the store. That's a nice ending to this, Enrique, right?
It is. And, it just goes to show you that most people are good. Most people want to do good. Most people want to live in a world where they treat people the way they want to be treated. There's always a jerk off somewhere, someplace that will attract the most attention. But for the most part, people don't want to treat other people like that. They don't want to walk through their town or talk to their neighbors in that way. And, what's great is the reason why it went viral is because everyone doesn't act that way. That's the silver lining in all of this. If everyone act like that, it would just be a Monday, or Tuesday. Oh, the person acting like that. So fortunately, we live in a world where that's the rare minority that acts that way. And when it does, it shocks the conscience of good people, it shocks the conscience of everyone else who listens to that and say, this is horrible. I would never treat anyone like this. So luckily, we still live in a place where that goes viral.
And hopefully we stay a place like this. Enrique Latoyson, thank you so much for coming on. It was great having you here on Sidebar.
It was nice talking with you. Thank you very much.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.